What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Chaos and Company. Today, I am here with my good friends Scott and Curtis, and we're just gonna be talking about some scary, spooky stuff. I believe we said we are gonna be talking about some shadow people, right?
Yeah, that's what I remember.
All right, but before we get into that, bro, I want to get into a little bit of a topic real quick, right?
What's up?
And I know I always say that like in the beginning of the video and I just ramble about something, but dude, so I was kind of watching like a thing about cheetahs, right? And dude, I feel so bad for them. Like they are like the smallest cat and they literally get bullied by everything, right? And I just feel so bad because they have to eat so freaking quick, bro. Like they're one of the fastest animals, right? Land animals. But dude, they have to eat so freaking quick because if not, like lions will end up taking, stuff. Hyenas, literally anything will end up taking its meal. And I just feel so bad for them. But one cool thing I ended up seeing though was that their cubs, right? Their cubs, in order for them not to get attacked by other big cats, right? They have the same fur color as a honey badger. So that way, whenever the mother goes to hunt, right, for the cubs, they literally just hide their heads and it'll literally look like just a honey badger sleeping. And all the other cats just like leave them alone. Like anything would just leave them alone because nobody wants to fuck with a honey badger. I'm just
Right,
like,
right.
damn, dude, that's so cool. But at the same time, I'm like, how did it get there? You know, like how like I know nature, it's like amazing and stuff like that, but I want to know like how did that develop, Where like it was like, oh, if my babies look like this, they won't get attacked.
I mean,
Natural selection.
yeah, exactly. I think the reality of it is the ones that were colored like that were able to survive and reproduce, and therefore it became the dominant trait, you know?
Right, but for it to look exactly like a honey badger though. And I mean after they once they end up like, getting older and they can defend themselves, they start losing that fur and they become the spotted, cheetahs we know it, but I don't know. For me, I thought it was so crazy that like they look exactly like a honey badger, so no other cat will end up, because they can't really defend their cubs. Like if anything comes to attack it, they really can't do anything about it.
Right.
But anyways, time to get into some spooky, scary stuff. So Scott, what are you gonna tell us about some shadow people, buddy?
Oh, God, I don't know. I thought you were going to start with the shadow. Are you just handing this off over to me completely?
Yeah, I have no idea. That I literally told you when when we talked about this, I was like, "This can't be all on you," because I don't know anything. And you're like, "Okay."
Me. Well, what do you think? Like, do you have any thoughts on them? I guess let's start with that because it'll be quicker
I've
than what
heard
I
of
have to
them,
say.
but I don't. I have no idea what they are.
What about you, Curtis?
Absolutely zero clue.
Okay. Um, so I mean, there's a lot of different theories about what exactly they are. I mean, but I think within like a like a general rule of thumb, and I guess like the paranormal and like demonology and stuff like that, is that they're not human, right? So they're like they might be perceived as like a ghost or a spirit, but they're not in any way, shape, or form like a human or wherever human. Like they're their own separate like entity that exists. And obviously there's different like there is like I guess you could call them notable shadow people where like in certain situations a lot of people report seeing the same person. I mean the one in particular that comes to mind, I don't know, you guys are on TikTok a lot. I don't know if you've heard of him, but the Hat Man.
No.
So with a lot of psychedelics in general, a lot of people will report seeing like the same thing. I don't know like exactly the specific psychedelics for each, but I know people that I've talked to that have taken them have all talked about seeing like gnomes and like meeting Mother Nature and Father Time and there being like consistent appearances for those people across, different people's trips. The Hat Man is usually seen in one of two places. Either sleep paralysis. Some people that have sleep paralysis have reported him as being like somebody who just, because the big thing with the Hat Man is he's a shadow person, and he just looks like I think about a 6 foot-ish tall male outline, because like with all the shadow people, there's no like distinctive detail. They're more of just that they're shadows. But he appears to be in like a trench coat with a like bowler hat or fedora hat, one of those two, and he just kind of watches you. And he's usually reported, like I said, with sleep paralysis. But in terms of psychedelics and trips, I don't know if you guys know this, but some people do take Benadryl in order to trip, and that was the big thing with the Hat Man. Was if you took Benadryl, you'd see the Hat Man. And there actually was a time on TikTok where they had a Benadryl challenge, where I think they called it the Meet the Hat Man challenge. And it literally just came down to encouraging people to take large amounts of Benadryl in order to meet the Hat Man, this shadow person. And unfortunately, there were a couple of people that lost their lives directly related to this challenge, because in order to trip on Benadryl, it requires you to take a vast amount of it. And obviously, a vast amount of anything is bad for you. And actually, even one person, I think, what ended up happening is they didn't know, but they were allergic to Benadryl, and their body rejected it, and unfortunately, they passed due to it. But like the most notable like shadow person would be the Hat Man, especially nowadays. But yeah, so like I was saying, a lot, and even besides the Hat Man, shadow figures are a very common like sleep paralysis related phenomena, so to speak. And besides that, obviously, like paranormal is a big one too, where people talk about it, seeing them in places that are quote unquote haunted and all that. But yeah, really, within like paranormal and demonology, they're usually viewed as being non-human or non-demonic, but just like otherworldly presences.
That's
I mean, I'm waking up sometimes from a deep sleep, and you know how you look through the doorway, and you're like, "There's someone standing there." Like I don't think it's like the same thing, but it's like you're like, "But there's someone standing there," and then like you slowly wake up, or 10 seconds later, you're like, "Oh
Right.
shit, that was just the door, or whatever, shadow or something."
Right. I mean that there's like I mean it's something that's been studied extensively, but humans have this very interesting ability where we see and identify faces and human outlines and things that aren't technically supposed to have it. Like a lot of people talk about like cars that look like they have human-esque features and things like that.
so. I want to go back to something you kind of mentioned, and it has nothing to do with like the shadow people, and might not be something like scary or anything like that, right? But like, one thing that you did mention was the cost of like psychedelic and people having like very common things. I ended up hearing that there was a study where people are trying to like map out this like other place by having people like trip on psychedelics, and like they keep going back to the same place, and they're trying to like map out like the area, they keep going back to. Have you heard anything about that?
No, but I mean it does vary. So I don't like the FBI, the CIA, a lot of like large alphabet government agencies have done extensive research into using psychic mediums to solve cases and things like that. And to this day, on a lot of government agencies' payrolls, they do have mediums and psychics and things like that who attempt to, you know, tap into a different realm in order to solve cases, you know, find out where a murder weapon might have been placed or something along those lines.
Well, no, I'm talking
I
about
mean,
like them getting high.
yeah, and I mean the CIA has done extensive research on the, you know, the effects that drugs. I mean, to be a little conspiratorial here, if you look into like MK Ultra and all that the CIA was doing, a lot of those documents have been declassified in recent years, and it plays right into that, is seeing what exactly they could accomplish by giving humans large amounts of psychedelics. You know.
So what you're
I wish I
wait
got signed up for.
before? Okay, so if I'm understanding what you're saying, right, is that they're basically paying people to get high.
I don't know if they're still doing it to this day. MK Ultra took place,
Oh, okay, but they
God, in
used
the
to then.
70s or 80s. Yeah, not really. It was not. Okay, we're getting into a lot of conspiratorial territory here. So, but
Okay, no,
they
I
weren't
just
really paying people. So, there actually is two very famous people that, when all the MK Ultra documents were declassified, were shown to have been maybe willing, maybe not willing participants of MK Ultra, and that is Charles Manson and Ted Kaczynski. So yeah,
The two of the nicest guys.
yeah.
Weird.
Do with that what you will. Um, but yeah, no, there's definitely been, you know, experimentation done on using psychedelics to access some kind of, you know, extra dimension in order to accomplish something.
sorry, that was me. Um, okay, but you haven't really heard the like.
For solving crimes or something
No, no,
like
no, no,
that.
no, no. So they're basically trying to figure out this other world, right? That people keep going into whenever they end up doing psychedelics. Because every single time they go back, they say that they experience the same thing or they end up seeing the same thing. So they're trying to map out this other place on, like, you know, what it is or if there's a connection to something, like anything, you know. So like they're trying to
Yeah.
like map this other place out. So it's not to solve crimes or anything. It's just, you know, like maybe they're going into like a different, I don't know, dimension, whatever you want to call it. I
Right.
100% not sure what it is, but they are trying to like map it out.
No, I mean, I know I've heard of like the whole different dimension and realm thing for people on psychedelics, but I haven't heard of anybody actively trying to map it or anything like what you're talking about.
Okay. No, I just want to touch in a little bit because you ended up hearing saying that, and I was like, oh wait, I ended up hearing that, you know. But anyways, go ahead.
I mean, so I think all of that directly kind of, at least on my personal thoughts on like shadow people and all that, I think it all kind of ties together for me because it's like I personally, so I don't know. This is some very abstract stuff I'm about to talk about, so bear with me here. But when you take like three-dimensional and like nth dimensional calculus, one of the ways they start teaching you integrals for nth dimensional calculus is by breaking it down into parts that are one dimension less than what, you know, your desired integral is. And basically the way that they do that is they're like, okay, like let's say you have this three-dimensional object, it's a sphere, it has a two-dimensional shadow that is a circle. And then it's like, okay, and then you have this two-dimensional circle. This two-dimensional circle has a one-dimensional shadow that is, you know, a line segment. And so there's this idea that, you know, everything casts a shadow that is one dimension, you know, everything casts a shadow that is at every dimension that is less than what it is. You know, like, does that make sense?
I'll be honest with you, bro. You have completely lost me.
so basically, so like
Curtis,
you
did you get any
understand
of
the
that?
idea of like,
No, he lost me at calculus.
so
Now,
like you
now
understand the idea of
I do
like
understand the shadow part, where you
like
said that you got a sphere that the shadow's 2 dimensional.
right. So just
For some reason, my brain understood that, and then everything else.
that's the important part. Okay, so
Oh,
you have dimensions, right? You know, physical dimensions. We live in a, you know, physically three dimension, as we know we live, or as we'd like to think we live in. Okay, we perceive three-dimensional space around us. That is what our brain perceives. And so, like when we look at the ground, you know, we have a two-dimensional shadow. But technically, our two-dimensional shadow casts a one-dimensional shadow. That would be you know, a line segment of that shadow in whatever plane you're looking at it in, if that makes sense. Well, I guess no,
yeah.
one dimension isn't a plane, so it would be a segment in whatever
Oh, absolutely.
line. Okay, so the thing
Okay.
is though is it's very common when you're dealing with like higher level, you know, nth dimensional calculus to look at things as parts of, you know, their whole. So because our brains physically just like can't perceive like um 4 dimensions. Like our brains just can't do it. And then obviously as you go even higher and higher, then it even less and less likely. Um, so like when you're performing math on a 4 dimensional object, you might look at its 3 dimensional shadow. So what I'm kind of getting at, and what my personal opinion on like shadow people as a whole might be, is that these are some nth dimension. So like obviously we don't know, because just by looking at them, because we can't process that with our mind, because our mind's only capable of perceiving 3 dimensions, three spatial dimensions. They're, you know, these nth dimensional beings, and we're just simply seeing their shadows, and that's why there's no distinct features. You know, they could be fourth dimensional or higher beings that just exist in the same plane of existence that we are in, and we're just unable to process, you know, their true forms, so we simply see their shadows.
Bro, look, like don't take this the wrong way or anything, but I came in here to try to get scared. I didn't know I would need a fucking college degree to follow that, bro.
Yeah, dude, I'm fucking hate math, dude. I'm fucking scared. I'm shivering my shorts, dude. Oh,
I mean,
God.
you want scary. I mean, we could get scary, but
Yeah, no,
existential
no,
scary.
get scary, bro. I was like, dude.
Hey, dude.
Oh, I look, I promise I was trying so hard to follow your train of thought, but you fucking lost me, bro. And I was like, okay, wait. Basically, what you're trying to say is that the shadows that we're seeing could end up being from a different dimension, right? And it's just basically casting it
Well,
onto the third
no,
dimension.
so the universe around us, okay, we don't like we perceive it as 3 dimensions, but since
Okay, I
our
get that
brains
part.
are only possible of perceiving 3 dimensions, there's a high possibility that it is actually more than 3 dimensions. And so they're just simply densients of the same universe that we're in, just wandering around, and like we are simply only able to perceive them as that because that's all of our brains let us do.
So
Gotcha.
do you
So it's
think
just
their
like,
brains? Do you think their brains are like looking at us like we're in Mario World? Like we're just like 2D?
Oh yeah, I mean, they'd be able to perceive us. We can perceive things in 2 dimensions and 1 dimension, you know. So it's like they could, you know, in that
Okay, I have a
case,
question.
still
I have a
perceive
question.
us.
bro, but not gonna lie, bro. I actually didn't think I would need a fucking college degree in order to fucking be
Well, now
in
you
this
do.
call right now.
No, but it's a good thing.
Just put a warning in the beginning. You gotta make sure you have taken what is it? Advanced calculus? What is it?
Yeah, vector calculus,
Make sure you have
integral vector
taken vector
calculus.
calculus for this combo.
And you got to take English to know what that even means.
Oh, but no. What I meant, bro, was like scary. You know, like what? Like, okay, so like, all right. So
Slender
this is a
Man.
story. This is a story I ended up hearing, right? And I'm pretty sure like people have come across it more than likely, right? But basically, it was this guy, you know, being like, oh, you know, I think he ended up meeting his girlfriend online or something like that, right? But his girlfriend ended up like their parents ended up living on a farm and stuff like that, right? And they ended up going to go visit the parents, right, at that farm. And she ended up showing him her bedroom, right? And he ended up noticing that the window was covered, and he thought it was really weird, right? But anyways, he like didn't say anything about it or anything, right? And late at night, he was like, damn, I really want to smoke, but I don't want to go all the way outside. So let me just go ahead and open the window, right? So he said that he ended up taking the blanket down and that there was this basically like a shadow person with like beet red eyes just looking in the window, right? And it was the bedroom was on the second floor, right? And he basically freaked out, put it back, and just went back to bed. And I was just like, I have no idea what I just saw.
How do you go back to bed after that, bro?
I don't know. I don't know. But like
Well,
go ahead.
I don't know where I'm running to.
I was just gonna say, like a lot of stories I've heard like that. That's usually what people do. They're just like, you know what, it's time for bed. I'm going to bed.
It almost sounds like honestly, like think of it. I feel like they're like sleepwalking, like because that would kind of make sense, right?
Well, I'm
not necessarily sleep paralysis, right?
Well, sleep paralysis,
sleep,
like shadow people are very like heavily tied to sleep paralysis for a lot.
Like but if you're in a deep enough sleep, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe accessing like a part of your brain, but like if you were able to go back to sleep. You had to never woken up.
But see, here's the other part, right? Here's the other part to the story where he said that after he ended up seeing that, he always felt watch every single time he ended up, you know, visiting there. And he ended up telling his girlfriend about it. And she said, yeah, that's why I had the blanket up. Because every single time I go there, I always feel like I'm being watched. Because she ended up seeing the same exact thing. So at that point, unless they both had a, you know, sleep paralysis or sleepwalking at the same time, or, you know, like, well, it happened to her when she was younger, right? And then it happened to him when he was, you know, older, right? Because, you know, things, right? But basically, it would have had to have been that they would have had to experience the same exact dream. You know what I'm saying?
In the exact same window.
In the exact same window. And then they would have both had to have felt being watched the whole entire time after they've experienced that.
Right. Like, I think that plays right into the whole idea that they're not like ghosts. Because I think we talked about it in last time or the time before. But that ghosts are generally seen as like impressions of energy on a place. Like they aren't capable of like sentient thought or action. They just kind of repeat a certain thought or mannerism that the person in life did a lot of or felt. And whereas like with this, where it's like something like actively watching someone, you know?
Like how do you wake up every day from sleep and like just go about your day? You just saw some dude in your window with red eyes.
Well, you saw
tell me that's what's following me.
You saw a shadow, and they only They only said that they only sense that somebody's watching them when they're at at her parents' house at that farm.
With the
As soon
house.
as they end up
Oh, that's
leaving,
my bad. Okay.
as soon as they end up leaving, no, they don't feel like that. But when they do go visit,
Gotcha.
even if they're inside the house, whenever they go outside, it feels like somebody's watching. Like you know, would that be considered like a shadow person, or would that be considered what you were saying last time about like? Because I remember you talking about like a creature with like beet red eyes, but that was like at a forest. This is like a farm. I don't know if it's the same thing.
Oh, well, I mean, there's like the Tennessee Wild Man and all that I was talking about
Yeah.
way back when. Well, I mean, those are like you said, they're creatures, they have physical forms versus a shadow person where I don't really know if you could say they have physical forms because they're like a three-dimensional shadow that don't have any distinctive features. They're just like outlines. And I mean, some shadow people are noted as having like red eyes, so. And well, like I said, they're usually not considered the same thing as demons. A lot of times they are denoted as being malicious, or not really malicious, what's like bad, just like bad, like not good.
But what else do you know about them?
Are they tied to religion at all? Like by any
Right to what?
religion?
What are you saying?
He's saying religion.
Oh, religion.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's nothing's coming to mind
Like
in this instance.
like is it like could it possibly be like a figure in like an angel or something? Or demon? Is that like a possible thing?
Not demon. Like I just said, like demons they're not generally attributed to being demons in demonology.
Hmm.
They're generally viewed as different in demonology than actual demons. Well, like I said, they're usually viewed. I mean, because when you talk about like demonology and the paranormal and ghosts and stuff like that, the big thing is like differentiating between what was once human and what was never human. And like I was saying, with like ghosts are generally just seen as impressions left by, people that were human, whereas demons and shadow people were never human.
So what I'm kind of thinking, right? So you said that with like paralysis and stuff like that, like people would end up seeing like shadow people, right, or the Hat Man, right? I wonder if there was like a study before like all this kind of like blew up, right? Because like let's say you're kind of in like a dream state, right? And you wake up and like you kind of been made aware of like all this type of stuff, right? What if your brain types like, ends up like showing you that, right? As like you're waking up, but you're kind of like still in that dream state and you end up seeing it. And I wonder if there's been like a study before like all this ended up blowing up, right? Where like people would end up finding out about like the shadow people and stuff like that. Unlike how many people would like claim on seeing it. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I understand what you're saying. Sleep paralysis has been documented for thousands of years. I don't know like to
Right.
what extent like the like actual things that people saw were, but it's definitely something that's been documented for a long time.
Right. And I mean it used to also be believed that like like whenever you would end up waking up like that, it's because like something's trying to hold you down, or like you're what would, they used to call them like demon something, right? Like sleeping
Sleep
like
paralysis, demons,
yeah, so they used to think they were demons, but
literally sitting on top of you. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm kind of wondering like, okay, did they also end up seeing the shadow people, or was it that you know people would kind of just see shadows here and there, right? But never, because like I'm pretty sure everybody, or maybe everybody, I have seen like shadows out of the corner of my eye, and I look over and like it's nothing there, right? And again, it could be like just your brain like playing like tricks on you or whatever, right? But what if somebody ended up seeing that connection and then like made a paper about it, and then people read it, and then it kind of made it a little bit more common because now your brain is trying to be like more aware of it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I've had this conversation before with some coworkers in relation to like the things that people see when they're on trips. Is there any study that shows that these people started seeing these things after having conversations with other people who noted seeing them?
Yeah.
Confirmation bias, or there's a bunch of different words, like scientific-esque words for that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's possible, but it again, it extends outside of like shadow people in and of themselves extend outside of the realm of just sleep paralysis. Because if you watch any ghost hunting show, that's also something they'll talk about, seeing as, shadow people.
Right, but okay, so like what is the like scary part about them? Like do they do anything to you, or are they just really there?
I mean, generally, from what I've seen, they're kind of just there. I mean, but like I've said earlier, they're generally touted as being malicious, kind of like demons. Like they're
I don't know about
generally.
you. If I see a shadow person, if I see the Hat Man in my doorway, I'm scared, bro. That's not. I'm scared. That's what's scary about him.
So,
If you saw one, Kevin, you would cry.
well, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Like I've seen them out of my corner of my eye, but like,
No, I'm not talking about that. You might just be confusing that with shadows looking like people. No, like I don't. These are shadows that have the appearance of humans that are just standing there walking and acting like a human that you can see full on, like not out of the corner of your eye. You're looking directly at them. That
okay,
is
Yeah,
what it
something.
means when people talk about shadow people, not, oh, I saw something out of the corner of my eye that I thought was a person and then nothing was there. That's not what we're talking.
I just looked up a picture of the Hat Man. Yeah, that fedora makes him 10 times more scary. Like a
so
mob boss.
the only time I've really heard about like anybody seeing like a shadow with like a hat, right? It would end up being when people were near that divot box that we were talking about not too long ago.
Well,
Um,
again, they're associated with negative things. They're usually seen in like asylums, mental hospitals, things like that. They're still associated with negativity, like demons are.
oh, okay, but do they do anything though, or they're just
Well, I'm
mischievous? That's about it.
Yeah, I don't think they're like scratching you up or
Well,
putting you in a chokehold or something.
what about this, right? Like think of it this way, right? What if like everybody claims to see the Hat Man, but what if like he comes in because he's trying to like save your life, and like you wake up and like you see him and then he just goes away. But then you're freaking
That's why I
out
asked
because you
about.
don't know like if he actually was trying to save your life or not. Like what if like you were having a hard time breathing, right? Because like you're sleeping in a weird way, and in order to like wake up and like like not be able to do that, right? He ends up waking you up, right? That's a weird example, but that's the first thing that came to mind.
Oh, that's why I asked if it was like if there's any religion like behind it, like because that's when you were mentioning that guy in the house where they felt like they're always being watched.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if it's like someone protecting the house? You know what
I
I'm saying?
mean, it could be again. I
Like,
don't know.
what if they're like that dude was like watching the guy because he was wondering what he's up
No,
to.
because that's again like again shadow. You're talking about an apparition, a ghost, something that was once human, had human emotions, and has attachment to that house. Again, that's fundamentally different than what a shadow person is. Shadow person is something that never was human, never will be human, kind of thing.
All I can say, I hope to never meet one of them.
Well, that's the
If I
thing.
do,
What do they do though?
maybe because the shrooms were good.
Like what
Nothing.
do they do?
Well, in the case of the Hat Man, he only ever watches. I mean, the thing is I think a lot related to shadow people too. It's a lot that kind of falls close to demons because they are seen too in a lot of places where people think there's demonic presences and just negative things happening. I know that people have talked about seeing them in places where people have been scratched and things like that. But it's not usually directly attributed to them. Again, it's usually seen as, demonic presences tend to exist in the same sphere as shadow people, but they're not one and the same.
Well, what's the difference between like a shadow person and like a apparition?
Well, again, an apparition would be a ghost, and a ghost was once human.
Right, but like
It's a
how like
lasting impression.
if you saw something, right, and it was just like a shadow figure, how would you be able to tell the difference?
Shadow figures are black; they're not see-through. They're just black masses. Versus a apparition is generally see-through, with some kind of like white or bluish white tint to it.
Oh, I've heard that apparitions can potentially end up being all black too.
No,
an
if it's
actual
all
shadow.
black, no, that's shadow people in paranormal study, demonology. All black entities are shadow people. I mean, I guess you could say that they can be. They're still gonna be. They can be darker in color, but they'll still generally be see-through, and they'll have some level of detail to them. Like the most that you get from shadow people is an outline, and then maybe some, eyes. Be it usually blue or red is generally what I've heard them described as having for eye colors.
But basically, at the end of things, they don't do anything.
Yeah, from everything I've ever watched, they're attributed to being around negative things, but never directly attributed to negative things.
Well, I thought this was gonna be a lot scarier, but I guess not. Didn't even prepare anything because I was like, "Oh, this is about to be good." But
I mean, it's the if you want the dread, it's the existential dread with the implication of them being some higher nth dimensional being and what that means for our universe and what that means for us as humans.
okay, go for it.
Well, so like I was saying, like, if they are just that, they're shadows of some, higher dimensional being, that implies that our universe, well, we kind of already know that our universe is not just 3 spatial dimensions. If you look at string theory, they're running, I believe they're at 11 or 12 spatial dimensions for our universe is how many they believe we have in order for the current best model of string theory to work. And so, that would mean that there is, anywhere from 7 to 8 spatial dimensions that we're unable to see and process, which means there could be who knows what existing all around us and we just never know. And, we already think we know so little about the universe around us. It's like, okay, well, now we're only able to even process less than a third of it,
Okay. Look, dude, I'm just trying to get scared, bro. Not by like math or anything like that, or fucking thinking about how many dimensions. Just tell me something scary.
Existentialism. You don't find the fact that we're on a tiny little rock floating through a massive void terrifying?
No, that just means that my problems aren't really not that important.
Yeah, my credit card debt. Don't worry about it. Existential void. Don't even know about. What are you worried about my money?
Oh shit. Okay. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, they're not. I don't like the Hat Man. Probably be the scariest thing that I know of that relates to
uh,
shadow people. So
then he watches. Just how you said it, I was just like,
That poor,
damn, that made me
that poor.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, dude. Like every time I sin, you just got the Hat Man's fucking. Oh yeah, buddy, you like doing that, don't you?
Wow.
wow.
That's what
I
they
mean,
work, did you?
this is a great meme where it's like, no, mom, I won't take any more Benadryl because I owe the Hat Man money and I don't need to make it. I don't need it to be possible for me to see him.
I don't know. I'd be real upset if I wake up at any point in my life and there's a man standing in the door with a fedora. Wait, they don't talk at all, right? I assume.
No,
That's
they don't. There's no interaction.
Now the Kevin, that you said that the red-eyed thing, or that lady's farm,
Sorry, go ahead. What would you say?
the red-eyed thing, the farm.
Uh huh.
They don't know what it was. They only like it didn't look. It just looked like a dude. All you saw was red eyes.
All he saw was red eyes looking into the window.
Just chilling on a second story window.
Well, that's the thing. There was no way for him to get up there. So it literally was as tall as that second story window, and it was just staring into
So
it.
he was as tall as he wasn't like floating.
No.
And that dude's like 20 foot tall. He would make an excellent career in the NBA. Can't tell me any different. The red eyes real taunting. 20 foot tall.
You'll sign him up tomorrow.
No, honestly. But I don't know. I don't know what. I don't. The only thing I truly find scary: spiders and heights.
I can agree.
Those two
on
things?
heights and spiders.
Like I mean, if I have yet to see a ghost or any figure of my imagination, then I'm not scared. But the day that happened, the day something comes up, I'm scared. But until then, heights, spiders.
Although there is one spider I actually been liking a lot lately, and that is the jumping spider. Honestly, I think they're pretty cute, and the fact that like they won't harm you, but they'll like kind of look after you at the same time, I think is pretty cool too.
That's a little tiny one, right?
Yeah, the little tiny one that looks like a tarantula has like
It's only
big
cute.
eyes.
It's only cute because it's only cute because you see it on social media, bro. If that thing was in your house,
no, I literally
if it jumped on you, you're gonna tell me you wouldn't kill it?
no, dude, I literally have run into them a lot in when I'm working, right? I've run into them a lot. I don't know, it's a sight to see whenever I see one. And I also think it's like really cute whenever they hunt too. Like I like that's one spider actually I'm not like scared of and I actually enjoy seeing. Yeah, no, I actually have been like kind of looking into like how to own one too. I'm not 100% sure if I will do it, but I have been looking into like like proper care for them and stuff like that. So I think they're really cute, and I enjoy the way they hunt too. So
The heights though.
oh yeah, no, I'm terrified, bro. Like if I go
Really?
past, yeah, no, if I go past the third like story, right, or third floor, whatever, and I can see down, oh dude, I start getting lightheaded. My feet start trembling.
Shit.
I'm like, dude, fuck.
That's how it was when we climbed. We called always top of the mast on the boat. I'm like it's so high up that the whole thing moves, right? It's like swaying in the wind.
Yeah.
It's like, no. I was up there. I said, bro, I can't do this. I can't do this.
I gotta go back.
And then you want me to lean. Yeah, and then you want me to lean over the edge. And this walkway, the walkway is like, okay. So I'll say it's probably I don't know, 200 feet, 250 feet off the floor,
Mm-hmm.
off the pier. And then the walkway that goes across, it spans like it goes up and then out, like a foot and a half wide. I mean,
What?
you're tiptoeing on this thing, and then you
Yeah.
want me to install an antenna? You want me to stretch my arms out and install? No, dude.
No, but see, that's the weird part for me is that I hate like heights like that, right? Like when they go up, like or you can see straight down. But like I enjoy like hiking up a mountain and then like just seeing like outwards, or just like climbing a mountain and seeing outwards. Like I enjoy doing that. But
That's got to be just the sheer edge, like just like the straight drop, dude.
yeah, like if I'm going up a building, like dude, like I'm not gonna say the place, but like some of the buildings we have over here, right? When I used to work for right? I would have to go like all the way up to like the tallest buildings, right? On the skyscrapers we have. And they used to be, I think they're like 20th floor or something like that. Bro, when I would have to press that like button, oh man, dude, I just felt my stomach being like, oh shit, I'm gonna be going all the way up right now, dude. And then same thing going down. I was like, all right, I'm hoping this thing doesn't drop.
I
So,
know. Oh, go ahead, Scott.
oh, I was doing some research. There really isn't much of like details on anything related to shadow people. This is the best description. If you guys want to hear it.
Sure.
So this is from occult-world.com. So they're they categorize seeing them in a couple different ways. Bedroom watchers, shadows on walls, moving shadows, background visitors, and haunting presences. I mean, the first four are kind of like explanatory in the names. Bedroom watchers are generally related to sleep paralysis. Shadows on walls are just like human like that, are on walls. Moving shadows, ones that just move, and background visitors specifically are when they show up in the backgrounds of like pictures and stuff. But for haunting presences, it says these figures appear in places known or thought to be haunted. They move about, act with intelligence, and appear and disappear suddenly. They may follow people. In some cases, shadow people are associated with bad luck. There may be no single explanation for shadow people, but they are not likely to be ghosts. Dark, ghostly figures often found in haunted locations are more shadow figures than shadow people. However, as noted above, shadow people are found in haunted locations too, including wooded areas where they are known in folklore as watchers. Shadow people share characteristics with the old hag nightmare terror. Some experiencers feel paralysis, suffocated, or choked. And then the rest of it is kind of stuff we've already gone over before. They're not necessarily demons, but they kind of share a lot of the same like negative connotations that a demon does.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's kind of it. Like they really don't do much. They're just kind of there.
Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna be different. My bad. Well, still interesting to learn about though. Yo, Curtis,
Scott,
What
what?
go ahead and ask your question.
Scott, what
yeah.
scares you the most?
What scares me the most?
Yeah,
Ugh,
what's your biggest fear?
my biggest fear.
Don't tell me math, so now you're bullshitting. I
I don't know.
fear nothing at all.
I don't think he wants to say it.
No,
Fear,
I
you fear
genuinely
death?
can't think. No, I wouldn't. No, not really. Like it's kind of hard. Like a long time ago with death specifically, it was just like, well, it's gonna happen, so why should I be afraid of it?
Okay, Kevin, what are you gonna say?
Oh, I was
Just that,
gonna. Sorry, go ahead.
um, No, like with death, it's just like a lot of things. Like it's just like I feel like for me, it's like fear is the lack of knowing, and once you know and understand, that fear is replaced with understanding. You know what I mean?
Damn, I must not know a lot of shit because I fear a lot of things.
I don't like that quote. I mean, I did at first when I first thought about it, and then I thought about it more. I said, "You'll never understand shadow people or aliens, so I'll always fear them."
Yeah, but I think at a certain point too, it's also like it's so unknown, and because it is so unknown, why am I going to worry about them? Why am I going to stress myself out worrying about something that I will just truly never potentially know or understand?
Evan, what were you gonna say?
Oh, bro. Speaking of heights, would you ever skydive?
Absolutely fucking not.
No?
Absolutely not.
I've always wanted to.
Damn, bro. Scott, if you ever do, can I push you out of the plane?
I don't think that's how that works.
I'll pay. I'll pay the money. Hey man,
Hey,
let me just
pay
push
the
you
200.
out.
I'll pay the $200 for the experience, but I don't want to jump. I just want to push my buddy out when he jumps.
I mean, I'm sure they'll understand, right?
You're wearing nuts right before he jumps.
Dude,
the entire way down, he's miserable.
bro, yeah, no, I don't think I ever would want to, bro. I feel like look, I feel like this is how it would go. Going on the way up, you would be absolutely fucking miserable, right? Like going on the way up, because you're just like, you're like building it up in your mind, right? And then as soon as that door opens, like your fucking nuts are gonna be in your throat, right? And then as soon as you jump, you're gonna be like just absolutely miserable, like just miserable until that parachute hits, and then you're gonna kind of calm down, right? And you're still gonna be scared, but you're gonna enjoy the scenery, and then once you land, you'll be like, I'll never do that fucking thing again. But I feel like
that's exactly how my experience would go.
With what?
Like there's like the sense of free falling. Like, oh yeah, it's such a cool experience. No, not when your fucking stomach is tied in a ball. Because I'm gonna die.
Dude, that's how I feel with roller coasters too, bro. Like I can't go on like roller coasters that much. Or if I do, I have to build my way up to them. I can't just go to I can't be one of those people that goes straight to the scariest roller coaster. Like I have to go on the kitty cubs and the teacups, the spinning cups on the carousel.
You can't start at the teacup, bro. No, you know what the one I've never enjoyed. Well, I forgot. What was it called? It was called Free Fall or something. Drop zone. Something, whatever it was.
Yeah, drop tower. I think that's what you're talking about. Where you kind of get strapped on, get all the way up, and then
just climbs all the way up, and then absolutely the worst experiences. I will never do one of those rides again.
I thought I don't have those rides.
No, dude. The thing that scared the shit out of me more than anything was when you start climbing above the trees, and then you're looking like miles. You know what I'm saying? And then it just keeps going, and you're not even a quarter of the way up yet, and you're like, dude, I can see all of this entire city from here, and it's still going, and you're like, bro, stop. And you can't look up because you don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't know. So you have no idea where you're at, and it makes it to the top, and you sit there, and you're just sweating, about to cry, and then just drops, and it's literally a second and a half. And not even relieved you had fun, you're relieved that you were still alive.
Yeah, no, I know.
And then your buddy looks over and he's like, let's do it again. I'm like, no, dude, you're sick. You're a sick human being.
Wait, what about the one that okay, so like your fear is like being able to look, right? And you can see the whole city and then you get dropped. What if you end up going to the one over in Disneyland? What's it called? Now it's like the Galaxy. What is it called, Scott?
Oh, the Guardians Mission
Yeah.
Breakout.
Yeah, that one. Where like you're it's basically like an elevator, you sit down and like you're basically seeing like scenes of the movie, but you're kind of like,
Is that what used to be
still
the Haunted Mansion? Oh, right, yeah.
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, I did that one too.
So you guys want to know something about that?
What?
So I forget if it was Otis or ThyssenKrupp, but they're both like the major like elevator manufacturers in the US. One of them worked with Disney to design a special drive system for that elevator. And most drop rides, you fall at, you fall with gravity, right? Tower of Terror and Mission Breakout pull you down. So you actually fall faster than the speed of gravity. So it's faster than any of the drop rides because it is pulling you down and you're not just dropping.
Yeah, I
Makes sense because I didn't have when I rode that thing. Didn't kind of think before the ride was over. Stood in line for 3.5 hours. Just,
Stood in line for 3.5 hours. Shit my pants.
Yeah, dude. Like the entire time I was fucking miserable, not having fun.
Oh, dude, I would 100% cry to get off. Oh man. And then
My big thing is like,
and then when they stop it, I'll just pretend I have a baby.
I like those rides, but I get such bad motion sickness.
I don't know. It just my brain thinks logically. It's like, dude, is this a good idea? And it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, when your buddies are kind of pushing.
But I'm not a bitch. But I'm not a bitch. So no, I'm gonna have fun. Yeah, I get off the ride. I'm like, Dad, not one bit of that was cool. Like, did you see that picture inside? Like, that was cool. Like, glue in the dark.
Oh man. Hey yo, in this picture that ended up taking, it looks like you're crying, bro. Oh no. I got something on my eyes.
Nah, dude. Someone was fucking cutting onions over here.
Oh yeah, no, dude. I literally can't stand like rides like that. Oh, hi B.
Hi Kevin.
But yeah, bro. Go ahead.
I love those kinds of rides. I just, I get motion sickness, so.
Oh, I just, dude, I just hate that feeling of like my freaking stomach just like, coming out of my mouth, I guess, Dude, like.
And you want to go skydiving?
Huh?
Do you want to go skydiving?
No, I'd never go skydiving, bro.
I do.
Scott, you want to go skydiving?
Yeah.
In Canada?
Scott,
they want to go skydiving
without a parachute.
I exceed the weight and height limit.
They can't afford to have the 747 go up there.
Well, I picked up my cap and gown for graduation yesterday, and I legitimately thought.
I have no idea what the fuck is being said right now, dude.
I picked up my cap and gown yesterday, and I legitimately thought they were going to have to tell me that the gown I was going to have to order because they didn't have it in my size.
I was waiting for you to be like, yeah, I have to bring it to a tailor.
I haven't even looked at it yet to see like how well it fits.
Yeah, they told me we were in the silk shortage, so I guess I'm not wearing one.
Yeah, everybody wants to be tall until you got to do tall people stuff.
Shit, bro, you're tall and round. You got two different problems.
Not really.
I'm just fucking around, dude. God dang.
You couldn't just pick one. You had to pick both.
Yeah, you know,
Very
'cause
selfish.
you pick your genetics, right?
That's very selfish of you, Scott.
Oh, my bad. I'll try. I'll try
I would
harder
like you to
next time.
I would like you to apologize to all the short, skinny people.
I apologize, B.
Oh, okay. Not me, I guess. All right, cool.
Okay, let's not pretend you're fucking slim in the slightest.
I didn't want to be mean because we know you're short, and I know that you're sensitive about your height, so I wasn't gonna say anything. But since you want to be short, okay, Kevin, you're short.
Damn, bro. Now I'm offended. I don't want to do this anymore.
Just not slim.
Don't fucking talk to me ever again. Oh shit, dude. But anyways, bro. Shadow
Aliens,
people,
am I
huh?
right?
Dude, what
if
shadow people?
Hold on. Oh shit, we might have just struck gold right now, bro. What if the shadow people are aliens, bro?
That's basically what I was trying to get at earlier.
What did you say?
But then you guys were like, too much math, brain hurt, stop talking.
Bro, I couldn't follow
Okay,
what the
Kevin,
fuck.
Yeah, but Kevin, simplify it for the special.
like I don't understand why it's like, why can't you just be like, shadow people might be aliens? Why do we have to talk about like how fucking shadow is cast in different dimensions, how many dimensions there is in the
Yeah, but I thought shadow people weren't like physical things.
Exactly.
Physical things.
The whole explanation is because they're shadows.
They're not aliens, bro.
Of some, 3 plus n dimensional being where n is not equal to 0.
Here we go.
Hold on, bro. Let me grab my pad and pen and calculator. And then
let me push up my glasses and fucking tighten my suspenders. Jesus Christ.
Oh shit.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is shadow people are shadows. And they're not like living things. You got that, Kevin? You understand?
No, I think what he's trying to say is that like there's a possibility that the aliens are in a different dimension and they're just basically casting that shadow. That's why they're not like being like aggressive or anything, but like more of like an assertive type of way. They're just observing things.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so explain this. Why did he want the farm?
The
what did he want from
the farm?
Do you think he was just like obsessed with that woman?
I don't know. I don't know.
She's like, it's so weird. She's like, it's so weird. Every time I change, you see red eyes in the mirror.
Okay. I mean, I'm not on, a first basis with the shadow people.
Well, okay, if we kind of think of it like logically, right? What if they're like, let's say they're kind of, since it's a farm, right? They're studying how we end up treating animals and like the process of like, making that into like food consumption.
Staring through the window. Kevin, you're staring through the window.
I can't explain everything, bro. I'm just giving ideas, okay?
Just be an observation of human behavior.
No.
They could view us as animals. I mean, we watch animals in those situations all the time.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah, what if the Earth is our cage,
I mean, that is a conspiracy theory that the moon is actually, the warden's office of the jail that we call Earth.
We're bigger than the guard. We can fuck them up. Seriously.
Actually, I've heard people say that the moon is basically like a place for like aliens to like just watch us and study us.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories about the moon because
like we never landed there.
Well, not what the moon is, because it's not, our moon is not consistent with the other moons of other planets that we've observed, and there's a lot of people that believe that based off of how the craters on the moon look, the moon is hollow.
How does it differ? Like in what way?
Uh, I'd have to look it up. It's more than one. How is the Earth's
But,
moon?
but obviously we would know all this if we landed there. Just saying.
Oh, it is larger compared to the size of Earth.
The moon is?
And our moon, yeah, it's it's much larger in comparison to the ratio between the size of the planet and the size of the moon is much bigger. That would be much smaller. Basically, a planet of our same size
Yeah.
we generally observe them have significantly the smaller moons. I don't know if I'd use the word significantly, but it is distinct. Our moon is distinctly larger than the moons that we've observed.
That's gravity. We're strong. We got strong Earth.
That's not how gravity works. Do you know what gravity is?
Always a math equation I'm not going to understand.
I can explain it without math. So,
apple fell on the guy's head.
Are you about to do the thing with the sheet and then like if you put a bowling ball?
I mean, basically, literally what it is it's the warping of space-time due to incredible mass.
I told you, we got Neil deGrasse Tyson on the podcast tonight, baby.
That's like physics 101. Like a lot of the things that were modeled in class.
Time was only relative.
Yo, but
it is time's relative to the observer.
Quick thing, that's actually pretty interesting though to think about. Like if we are like a science experiment and like Earth is our cage, and aliens would end up being like in the different dimension, just looking in.
Yeah, definitely.
Damn, bro.
I feel like if we were an animal inside a cage, I think it's an ant farm.
An ant farm?
I mean, because all we do is work. Work. Sleep.
Well, in the U.S.
Like
other countries, work significantly less than us.
There's some countries I don't think they've ever stopped working. They came out of the womb working.
Don't say it like that.
Become a factory worker. I don't know if you guys knew that about me.
What?
Worker.
You keep cutting out.
I'm going to be a factory worker.
Oh, you quit your job?
Yeah, they're about to get paid $120 an hour.
Factory workers?
Yes, to assemble parts.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. They're adjusting wages to match inflation so people can actually live? That's insane, bro.
Damn, tell me where to sign up, bro. Hell yeah.
With Michigan or something.
Oh, you're talking about the automotive?
Yeah.
I'd look into that more because a lot of times when people try to make those like clickbaity pieces like they did with UPS, what they'll start to do is they'll factor in like non-direct things. They'll start adding values to benefits in order to reach those numbers.
I think it was 120.
Is that the whole entire thing of like where UPS was getting paid like $50 an hour?
Well, that's a separate strike that they went on.
Oh, like, so they are getting paid that much right now?
I don't know if that's what their base pay is, because like I said, there was a lot of people out there that were arriving at those numbers by factoring in like arbitrary values that they gave to the benefits that they were receiving too.
Oh, okay.
So basically, okay, shadow people. They're 3 plus n dimensional beings, where n is a positive whole integer greater than 0. Okay. They're on this earth to watch Kevin and make sure that Kevin.
Hold on.
Whatever dimension that is.
Repeat that. And what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. I was slow to get my pen paper and a calculator, sir.
Oh,
N
sure. It's
Yeah.
plus what?
it's 3 plus
Oh,
n.
3 plus n. Okay.
Where n
Where n.
is a positive whole integer greater than 0.
This is almost
So,
as interesting
wait,
as going to the gym.
So n would equal anything above 0.
A positive whole integer that
So
is greater than 0.
n would
Such
equal
as
1.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
5.
So n
All right, bro.
equals anything.
You have a great night.
N is equal to I plus plus greater than 0. There you go, Curtis. I threw in some coding for you.
Plus equals, but yeah, no, it's fine.
I plus plus. No, I plus plus is how you count up. Oh, that might be C. I can't remember.
Well, thanks for coming to the podcast. Hope you got scared.
God,
They're terrified by the map.
Hey, Scott, are you gonna give us
Hope
any
you didn't
homework?
What?
Yeah, I hope you didn't shiver your timbers.
So,
Are you gonna
here's
give
what
us
I'm gonna
any
need
homework?
you guys to do. Yeah. Okay, here's what I'm gonna need you guys to do. Okay. I need you guys to find some non-trivial zeros of the Riemann zeta function and let me know, the meaning behind those non-trivial
Yeah.
zeros. Definitely
Oh.
don't submit it on your own. Let me do it first. I definitely won't take the money and claim it as my own work. But yeah, non-trivial zeros of the Riemann zeta
Yeah,
function.
I'll get to that in the next dimension.
Oh, what a good guy.
Oh shit.